Yeah, if the town that the goose originally terrorizes in his own game, if they ever just got a gun or something, like
Yeah,
they
they
wouldn't
could
have the
sort it.
problems they did have.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's it. They just shoot the goose, and then that'll be it.
Yeah, maybe.
saying that would be an abnormal circumstance.
Yeah,
But then again, I'm wondering maybe they're just a bit dumb, and because it's a completely white goose, maybe they're like
Oh yeah, everyone in
confusing
that
it
town is
for
stupid.
maybe they're confusing it for a trumpet swan, which are endangered and like looked after by the queen. So if you
Oh,
kill one, you get
could be.
arrested. Maybe that's why they can't touch him. They think he's invincible and protected by the queen.
the queen's just going to show up with like a gun and be like,
Who's been attacking
Yeah.
my goose?
Yeah.
And the goose is just stood behind the queen, just pointing at the villagers like, that one shot at me.
Honk, honk. I'll get him.
Hello, welcome to the Shipping Forecast. I'm James, as you probably know by now. Joining me is the token female, as I managed to get on short notice, Grace. Say hello.
Hello.
And the token northerner, who is also joining me at less short notice. Nick has been sat on the call for half an hour while we sort out our technical difficulties.
now then.
So Grace is actually recording in a different building tonight. She's here with me, so we had to arrange all of that setup, and that took some time.
Yeah, like I'm sitting here with a phone and earphones stuck to me, holding a microphone that's attached to a laptop with a clothes horse and a sheet around it. And I'm not entirely sure what it's doing for anyone at this point, but we'll see how it goes.
Excellent.
This could sound interesting, and we'll find out during the edit exactly how this goes, but we'll see.
It's I'd just like to mention to the listener, I'm still at home in a northern town, which, if you know the your World War II history, you can probably work out which town I live in.
What? Wait,
Just
what?
from a northern town. I'll tell you later, Grace.
Okay. This is something Southerners don't get.
Yeah, and I don't particularly want people who care to actually work out where I live without all the clues.
Okay.
That's fair.
So they can come
So-
find you like a weird kind of, I don't know, sabotage quest or like...
I was
When
just
you-
expecting
Girls showing up on your doorstep.
Yeah, the
when-
legions
Like
and
poor
legions
with
Robert
their
of
Pattinson.
fangirls.
pitchforks and like screaming for their fan fictions to be like redeemed. Like revenge on you for their fanfics.
So the thing about any fangirls listening, if we ever do have fangirls, which I doubt we will, they only really have our voices to go on. So maybe Nick and I have kind of smooth, dulcet tones and sound like we look like Benedict Cumberbatch or Robert Pattinson.
Have you
They
heard
don't.
me?
And then,
Disclaimer, they definitely do not.
yeah, we don't. And I think it would be funny if fangirls track us down thinking that we're heartthrobs, only to then meet us in person and just go, oh, oh dear.
Yeah.
And just crush over.
What's going on? Are Jim and Nick here? Why are the two sacks of shit tied in the middle in front of us?
Exactly. So I'd like to do something a bit different this episode, if you guys are down for that. So-
okay.
What?
Instead of telling you guys straight away what this fic is, I'd like to just read an excerpt from the middle, and then maybe you guys can guess what it's about.
Okay, yeah, go on then.
Yeah, go for it.
I mean,
yeah.
it's probably going to be Animal Crossing because that's the topic we're on, so I reckon
Yeah.
I get points for that.
I'll give you a hint. It is a crossover.
Okay. Alright.
So
This is where we should have like researched what Jim was doing because like I've completely forgotten.
Well, it's
how
too late
professional
now.
we are. Yeah, it's too late.
I'm Nick.
So-
I'm the bald one, Grace.
I know, but you sound the same over.
ouch.
No, you don't really.
Sure enough, the damage to the museum was incomprehensible. Every single fish tank had been smashed, and the
Oh, no.
donated fish were flopping around helplessly amongst the shattered glass. Not a single insect remained in the intended enclosure.
Oh god, Blathers fucking hate that, wouldn't he?
The fossils the villager had ever so carefully dug up lay in pieces of broken bones and dust, and the single painting the villager had managed to track down, the Mona Lisa, had a goose-shaped
This
hole.
sounds like a fucking catastrophe, doesn't it? And I
Yeah.
think we can guess who the culprit
So-
is.
Museum in tatters, chaos. Yeah. There's a large goose-shaped hole in the middle of the Mona
my
Lisa.
God. See, oh,
Hang on a minute. I think it's a Fallout 3 crossover fic.
Yes, well done.
No.
It's Three Dog. Ow.
no, it's Untitled
No.
Goose Game, isn't it?
Yes, this is Untitled Goose Moves into Untitled Town in Animal Crossing
Oh god.
by Glitter Nyappy Gact Rose.
Excellent. I forgot we were reading this. Or I
I
forgot
know.
you were reading
That's
this.
That's why I wanted to introduce it like that. I thought that'd be
Hey.
fun. So the tags include Animal Crossing references, alternate universe, and quote honk.
Oh, very
Nice.
apt.
So, are you guys ready for me to get into it, or do you have any questions or comments before we begin?
Let's quickly explain what Untitled Goose Game is.
Yes. So, Untitled Goose is another game for the Nintendo Switch. It is about a goose who
Is it on the
wreaks
Nintendo
chaos.
Switch?
It is on the Switch, yeah. we
Yeah,
played
Really?
it on
it
the
is.
Switch.
Yeah, I
Oh,
played it on
shit.
Switch.
Consider me being like 20 quid less in the pocket. Or please tell
It's a
me
very good game.
they haven't put it up to 60 like every other bloody Switch game.
I
have
don't
they?
think so.
They better not have.
Well, we can check later.
Okay.
So, yeah, the goose moves into the town in that, and this fic mirrors that very much. So it begins on quite a normal, wholesome Animal Crossing experience. This is kind of, from what you guys have told me of Animal Crossing, this is accurate to how the game plays. It's a normal day. It's a happy day. The villager is wandering around. Then he notices that a rabbit has moved right into the middle of the path. He spent hours designing and carefully placing.
Oh no.
So naturally, the villager spends the day chasing Gaston the rabbit, whacking him with a net to try and get him to move out because he's just put his house right in the middle of a path that he'd spent hours designing.
Sending him strongly worded mail through the post.
Yes.
Excellent.
Nice.
And while he's doing that, he notices a rare yet dangerous tarantula wandering about. And
Perfect.
unlike a normal person who would just be like, nope, I'm out, I'm going to burn this village to the ground, start again, they think, hey, I'm just going to catch it with my net.
No, yeah, no, seriously. Like, people go out and try to regenerate and spawn tarantulas in Animal Crossing because they're worth a fucking fortune. There is a whole island you can visit called Tarantula Island.
Tarantula Island.
Yeah, and you
Yes,
just go
there is.
around
No
catching
thanks.
tarantulas and you sell them to the poor, very traumatized child Tanuki who run the shop. You just hand over like 27 tarantulas and be like, okay,
Just
now
out of
give me all
curiosity.
your pocket money.
Is this island called Australia by any chance?
It's very small if it is.
Yeah. While Australia is very big.
Yeah.
So
And
I don't
probably
think
has
it's...
more dangerous beasties there.
Yeah.
Yeah, than tarantulas.
But I find it funny. They've... Sorry, can I just quickly pick on something Animal
Go-
Crossing has
go
done
for it.
recently? They recently did an update where you can go swimming. I don't know if I've mentioned this
Okay.
before, but you go swimming and like they say, oh yeah, the sea around the island is now safe to swim in, and yet literally earlier that day I caught a great white shark. And when I went
Huh.
swimming in those waters, I've been picking up fucking jellyfish. So I'm really not sure what like the
I mean, safe is a relative term. I mean,
fucking
it
is
was
it's
probably a
not
lot
fucking
worse before.
safe. It's not fucking safe. I've been catching great white sharks all week, mate. Like And then
So-
I'm going swimming in the waters where they live. I'm not convinced. Like, you know what I mean?
So,
I'm just nipping in there in a fucking like Victorian era swimming costume and picking up shit from like the bottom of the seafloor.
Yeah,
Like
while being
coral
circled
and
by all these
barnacles
puffer
and-
fish and great
Yeah.
whites
Puffer fish.
and mahi
Yeah.
mahi and stuff like that.
Yeah, like
bloody
Yeah.
hell.
I'm dead. Like in a real world, I'd have been killed so many times over.
Yeah.
So, sees this tarantula, quite keen to catch it, like the madman this villager clearly is.
Yep.
As he goes to it, he realizes there's a massive hole in his net.
Oh
Oh,
dear.
no.
I
Yeah,
wonder who it
and he's
could
just
be.
kind of hitting the tarantula, like, in the middle.
He's just
Like,
trying
with
to
this
kill
net,
it.
and the tarantula's not impressed at all. And it attacks the villager with its tiny fangs.
Oh dear.
Oh.
So, the villager just kind of goes, fuck it, this isn't going to be fun, I'm going to go fishing instead. But his fishing rod's broken too.
Oh no.
Someone has bitten through the line.
Oh,
So he starts looking through his pockets, see if he had a spare rod. He finds in his pockets a piano,
Yeah.
a UFO,
Yeah.
some apples,
Yep.
a conch shell, but
Yep.
no rod. And he's just like, ugh.
Yeah, that's accurate.
That's a pretty standard bag.
But
Yeah.
he does find a rare fish, so so his next course of action is to go visit our favourite owl, Blathers,
Hey.
so he can sell it at the museum. Now here is my question to you guys,
Yes.
who've both played Animal Crossing. Why is he going to sell a fish to the museum when he has a UFO?
He's not going to sell it to the museum. He's going to donate it first of all.
Yeah,
and
you donate it to complete the collections.
yeah,
Oh,
there's 3 different sections. There's an art section. There's an insect section. There's a fish aquarium.
and
so
the museum
he's
just won't care for a UFO?
no, because that's not science. That's Scientology,
Yeah.
and they don't have that.
Yes, it is
section.
science. That is science. It's highly advanced physics.
It's
Yeah,
not
but-
part. It's not part of the collection, Jim. You can only
No,
you
it's
can only
not.
donate fossils, fish, bugs, or art.
Exactly.
That's all they're
This museum
interested in.
sucks.
Oh,
It's
yeah, I
not
forgot about
it's not the
fossils.
Smithsonian. It's the Animal Crossing Museum.
Onion.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's the one.
It's dedicated to stuff that we know exist.
But he knows a UFO exists. He's got
Yeah,
one in his
but
pocket.
all right. So it's probably a model UFO he's bought at the shop.
Yeah, or he's learned to
It's a
build one.
decoration item.
Okay,
Yeah,
I get you.
or,
Yeah.
or he's learned
Okay.
he's learned to build one. One of the other villagers have come up to him and said, "Hey, would you like to
Okay.
learn how to build a UFO?" And he's
Yeah,
been
and then
like,
he's
"Yes."
begun
Oh.
like sweet. Yeah, and he'll just like
Fine.
attach it to
I can live
string
with
and
that.
hang it from his ceiling.
Fair enough. Okay, so he heads to the museum with his fancy fish that he's going to sell. When all of a sudden there's chaos at the museum, and this is the paragraph I read earlier. This is where everything's gone. The Mona Lisa has a goose-shaped hole in it.
Oh no!
Yeah, it's
That's
grim.
expensive to fix, isn't
And
it?
Yeah.
Blathers is just panicking and yelling, "Villager, no, this is terrible! Ah!" and all that stuff. So, Villager leaves, feeling disheartened, and he
He's
goes
like,
to
he only
visit.
closed his eyes for a minute, and like it's funny
He
because
blinked, and this goose has just destroyed
to be
him.
fair, he sleeps the entirety during the day. Every time you give him something,
Oh,
you'll
Blathers. Yeah.
you'll startle him and wake him up if you donate
Yeah,
something
you-
during
you-
the day.
That's
So
it.
he's asleep the whole day.
I mean, he's an owl. That's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Of
yeah,
course,
yeah.
he's asleep during the
But
day.
he's like, oh, I only blinked for a second. It's like, yeah, sure.
Yeah, he's just been snoozing all day, and
Yeah.
while this goose runs around, fucking shit
Yeah.
up.
That goose has had ample time to fuck shit up.
Exactly. So the next stop on this village's tour is he goes to visit Julian the unicorn,
All right, okay.
Okay.
who I gather is quite popular. I assume.
I don't know. Like, it's just,
This
There's-
villager seems
there's
keen
over
on keeping him.
200 of fucking villages in Animal Crossing. Like,
Well, Julian is someone this villager was keen to get living on his island,
okay.
and apparently Julian's just not feeling fabulous anymore because he
Oh.
doesn't feel safe on this island.
Oh no, is he going to move out?
Yeah.
Yeah, his house was destroyed, and now
Oh.
he doesn't feel safe.
Oh,
Oh,
my god.
dear.
Well, yeah, he's got nowhere to fucking live.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
the
I'm
same-
moving out
And-
because there's no house left, guys.
And yeah, the village is kind of confused by this because the island's quite a safe place. Like people just visit anyone's houses.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of trust.
Yeah.
And yet someone has just come in and wreaked havoc.
Yes, so long as the animals are in the house, you can sort of pop in and be like, "Hey, what you doing?" And yeah,
Hmm.
Yeah, so you can't
Well,
go in
someone-
the house if no one's there.
Yeah. Well, someone just broke in.
Seems so.
And, oh, is that Julian?
that's Julian. Yes,
Wow.
he's very fabulous.
He does look fabulous. But anyway, the villager is now talking to, I forgot it, to Julian, begging him to stay. But then his alarm goes off, and he realizes he's late for selling turnips
Yeah.
at Tom Nook's shop.
Oh
Okay.
no!
So he just bolts out, just like, nope, gotta sell these turnips. I don't understand the turnip thing,
The
but
stocks and
I'm sure one of
shares
you can
knock off.
explain.
Yeah,
Ah,
So you buy them for a price, and then you hope as for like all week. You've got 5
just
days
getting
to try.
kids into gambling,
try-
eh, Nintendo?
no,
Yeah, exactly.
not gambling, not gambling. The stock market. That's what it is.
That's what I said. Gambling.
It is kind
Ah,
of a
yeah,
gamble.
okay.
Because like you buy them for like 106 bells, and then you try and sell them to Timmy and Tommy in the shop, and they'll be like, "Oh, we're only buying them for 88 per turnip today," and you're like, "Oh fuck." And then, then every once in a while they'll go, "Oh, actually, we're buying them for 500," and you're like, "Yes, profit, buy them all."
That,
But
that
they
sounds like
spoil
gambling
at
to
the.
me.
But your turnips are perishable, and they spoil come Sunday. So you've got to hope that they're going to buy it for more than you sold it. I mean, bought it yourself.
Yeah, it's that's
during
one
those
of the
5
areas of
days.
the game that Sophie doesn't bother with
Yeah.
at all.
It does sound like a lot of effort.
Yeah, that's it. It's
If you have
yeah.
like loads of friends, like everyone, you can go to their island and sell turnips on their island.
But none of us have friends, Grace.
I know this is why we're all
Yeah,
sat here
that's
doing this
also what-
podcast.
Yeah, that's true.
So,
It's the only
Yeah.
it's the only human interaction we get.
oh god, that's too real. Let's not do that. Anyway, he gets to the town hall to sell the turnips.
Yeah, okay.
And that's when the true horror is revealed. When he realizes he doesn't have any turnips anymore.
Oh no.
Oh,
They're all gone. Sorry, no, they're not all gone. Someone has taken a bite out of every single one. They're just in a pile in front of the town hall, individually, each with one bite out of each one.
oh man.
Yeah, and now Tom Nook isn't going to buy any.
Oh no. I've just read the next bit and we find
Someone
out
broken. Yeah, and that's when we find out Tom Nook's shop has been broken into.
and everything's been chucked in the river and is now drifting down the river and out to the sea.
Yes.
Oh no.
And if you guys are struggling to figure out who this is at this point, the next paragraph definitely hints subtly at who the perpetrator could be,
Yeah.
Yeah.
with lines that something is wrong in Untitled Town, and it gives the villager goosebumps.
Dun, dun, dun.
Oh.
It could end up being a wild goose chase,
Dun, dun,
figuring
dun.
out who it could be.
Oh Jesus Christ.
Cue L.A. Noir piano sting music.
If I can find a royalty-free one, yeah, I'll do that.
Doesn't pertain to the case. Optimistic call.
Oh god.
And that's when the villager notices someone else is new in town.
Ooh.
And he checks the map. And just by the beach is a very small picnic blanket. And on the picnic blanket is all the town's fruits, all the shells, all the freebies from the dump, all the rare Nintendo items that the villager had spent so long collecting.
Fuck's sake.
And next to the mountain is a goose.
Excellent.
Hey.
And the goose has just taken all of the stuff. And so he convinces the goose to leave, and the goose just honks at him angrily. There's a lot of hissing and flapping.
Beast, be gone from my town, yelled the villager. All his anger coming out at once. You've destroyed everything I've worked so hard for. And you've taken up the 10th and final slot here while Annika the cat, my final dreamy, is visiting the castle. I will not have you ruin this for me. Now leave!
The goose let out an angry hiss, flapping its wings in a threatening manner.
It
Yes.
is if
Are we getting an action cutscene where they fight?
We are. Yes,
Yes!
there's a fight.
Yes!
He starts hitting it with the nets. The goose snaps it in half.
Hey!
But he had one more trick up his sleeve. And he pulls out an axe.
Yes!
And he just swings the axe at the goose.
Oh my God.
thing is, in Animal Crossing, you can actually hit people with the axe, but it just sort of goes doink and bounces off them harmlessly.
Yeah, they're a bit immortal on this.
Fortunately, the goose, while still immortal, is not impressed by the situation. And never before had it been met with such violence.
And this
With one final honk, the goose waddled away and swam into the sea. So, if you guys would humour me, I'd like to read this last paragraph, because I really like this last paragraph.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
it reminds me of the Goosebumps TV series that was on CBBC back in the day.
Right, okay.
Okay.
So it goes, and where did the goose go, you might ask? Well, have you ever noticed the limitations of the map in Animal Crossing? It cuts off at the beach, not really showing much of the sea. Let's just say you're closer to other towns than you realise. And when was the last time you played? Are your flowers dead and your town covered in weeds? Are there cockroaches covering every surface of your house? Well, all of these things may end up seeming insignificant, because your town may be next.
Oh, what?
Dun dun dun!
What is this chainmail bullshit?
So watch out.
Oh
The
no.
goose could be in your town any day now.
It is, if nothing else, accurate to both the games. To be fair, I mean, I like that the goose has got like a picnic blanket and there's just a mound of treasure on it, because that's an actual quest,
That's
if you
how
like.
it ends, yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's actually.
Oh, sorry, it's not how
Yeah,
it
it's
ends.
not how it ends.
Let's not talk about how Untitled Goose Game ends, because that's such a good ending. That
Yeah,
ends.
I found it really funny. But there is a quest in the game where you end up with a load of shit on a picnic blanket that you've stolen from other people.
Yes. Okay, so I really enjoyed that.
Yeah.
I assume you guys did as well, by the sounds of it.
Yeah, I enjoyed
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
It was nice. I liked it.
So, I'm realizing I was about to prepare the second fic I had lined up, but I just noticed this same author has written another fic that I think we should look at some point.
All right.
And I'm just gonna tell you show you the title. It is called The Goose, brackets, inspired by The Raven by Edgar Allan Poe.
No. Oh my God!
Yeah.
Really? That's one of my. I don't have many favorite poems, but that's my favorite poem ever. Like one of my favorite poems ever.
Okay, maybe on a bonus episode we can look into this one. Yeah, it's just Edgar Allan Poe being attacked by the goose and being really dramatic about it.
So rather than the goose just sort of like sitting above his door into wherever he is,
Yeah, it's just a goose
It's just-
wandering around.
it's just a goose wandering around and pulling books off shelves and.
Yeah. And there is a line here that is, quoth the goose, honk.
Alright.
Of course,
So,
I want to.
yeah.
I want to read that.
I'll send you this for later.
Nice.
Here you go. But talking of broody dramatic goths, the next fic I'd like to talk about is Dracula Comes to Animal Crossing Land in Search of
Hey.
Untitled Goose, which is a crossover between Animal Crossing, Untitled Goose, and Castlevania,
Nice.
specifically the Dracula of the Castlevania series.
Oh, okay.
The immortal
So
lad with the moving castle, with so many issues you could build the castle out of them 3 times over, is moving to
So-
your island. Is that it?
there are a couple of subtle differences between Castlevania's Dracula and the Bram Stoker Dracula of Ancient Legends.
Okay.
So Castlevania's Dracula is about 7 foot tall and one of the most powerful beings ever created. He is... So the games, he was originally going to be a stand-in for Satan.
Right.
So that's just how powerful he is. Like, he has a castle that can teleport wherever he wishes to go.
Yeah, he's got super strength. He can turn into bats and
He's
fire
ridiculously
and
strong.
Right. Okay.
yeah, all sorts of dumb shit. He's got it all. He's OP as fuck.
Nick, you should watch Castlevania. It's very good.
Yeah. When I get round to it, I may do.
Excellent. So, this fic begins with just a normal, peaceful day in your Animal Crossing village.
Nice.
They're just having a lovely day when all of a sudden the town is plunged into total darkness.
Hey.
And a huge castle looms over them from a nearby plateau as the castle of Dracula descends upon Animal Crossing.
Oh, fantastic.
The villagers never seen anything like this before. They drop all the... So they were in the middle of a bug hunt. So... Sorry, a bug off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so they drop all their nets and they go over to look at the castle. A tall man comes out of it. He is at least 7 foot tall, which makes him 3 or 4 times larger than the average villager.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they're tiny.
Yeah. They're
And
like.
Dracula's huge. So yeah, there's kind of a bit of a stare off. Dracula looks at them. They look at Dracula. And then they pull out some party poppers
God,
and they
yeah, that was-
welcome him to the village.
Yeah, it was funny. It says none of them shrank away in fear. In fact, they didn't look intimidated in the slightest.
No.
They just
And
pulled out
Dracula's
party
used to people
poppers.
being intimidated by him because he's Dracula.
Welcome.
Yeah, Grace, would you like to voice Isabel for this, and I can do Dracula?
Oh God, okay. I can't. How's that pronounced?
Shitsu.
Duchess?
Oh, I was going to say Dokas. It doesn't specify.
Bonus points if you can do the sort of animalese that they're talking.
Yeah, go on, Grace.
Fucking hell. There you are.
Wow.
That was actually pretty good.
And what does that roughly translate to?
That was
Okay,
actually pretty good.
Welcome to Duchess. Would you happen to be our new mayor? My name is Isabel, and I will be assisting.
But Grace, if Isabel was going to sound northern, I would have asked Nick to do it.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Isabel comes.
Honestly, that works too.
Yeah, Isabel comes from Rotherham and has smoked 40 a
Yeah.
day for 30 years.
She looks it. Okay. That's deceiving. Okay.
And then the man goes, "You are mistaken. I am not your mayor. I am Dracula. And I have come to this town in search of my goose. Have you seen a goose lately?"
Oh.
And yeah, so Bob the Cat's just like, "No, I haven't seen a goose." Though he received a letter about a town that got a goose, and then there were trails of destruction and a wave of terror.
Oh.
And Dracula just goes, "Well, yes, that sounds like my goose."
Oh my god.
I will say, judging by the size of Dracula compared to the size of the island, if he's 7 foot tall, he could probably survey the whole island from where he was standing.
Yeah,
Oh,
probably. He's probably taller than the fucking cliff faces.
Yeah, that's it. He could probably just see over it. Like, teleport down to the island and be like, nope, it's not here.
No.
Right, let's on to the next
time.
one.
Yeah.
And also, when Dracula's castle teleports, it's not like the TARDIS. It doesn't like whoosh in and out. It just lands and destroys
Everything
anything
under-
nearby.
Oh,
and
nice.
beneath it. So he's probably
It just vaporizes
that
anything.
castle, the size of it, has probably taken up half the fucking island anyway. You know what I mean? All that effort you've put in to
probably.
like decorate the place, and he's just thrown a fucking castle on top of it.
So they've
Dropped from 5 stars to a 1-star island again in an instant. Don't like
I
it.
don't know,
Needs
it's got
more
a-
forest. Maybe get rid of that
got a
ginormous
huge
castle
Gothic
sitting on
castle.
top of everything.
Now, I don't know much about Animal Crossing, but I'm pretty sure if Dracula's castle is placed there, it's gotta be a 5-star island. I mean, it's such an elaborate castle.
Yeah, but not enough trees apparently.
Oh.
Yeah, she
Yes.
got beef.
Well, that
she
game
wants.
sucks.
You got to have a nice balance of foliage and furniture.
Why can't you just go all in on Gothic Castle?
You can,
know
but you need a
there's-
gothic tree to go with it, and there are no gothic trees in Animal Crossing.
I know. I can imagine sort of Isabel saying, "Oh yeah, I give this island 6 stars. How the fuck did you build that?"
Jesus, you collected a lot of stones out of those rocks to build a whole castle.
Saying that, I've been seeing mods for it. Like I've seen people
What?
make like Dante's coat from Devil May Cry in Animal Crossing. So
It's not like a mod; it's
maybe you-
people actually designing it on
oh,
their
sorry,
app.
yeah, like custom things.
Yeah,
Someone must have made Dracula's cape at
you
least.
can buy it anyway. Like the
Oh,
shop
yeah,
sells
I'm
a
sure you can
Dracula
buy a cape.
outfit. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's got a cape attached to the Dracula outfit. I should know, I have it.
Even
Haha.
Of course you do, you goth.
I prefer fabulous goth. Either way,
You are a fabulous goth. But yes, anyway,
An emo then.
the
sure.
villagers try and convince Dracula to stay.
Okay.
Oh, that's nice.
And Dracula's protesting, like, nope, I won't stay. And before he knows it, he's being dragged around by Tom Nook. And
Oh wow.
Tom Nook's found him a place that's temporary yet comfortable, affordable yet cozy.
Can you read out like the dialogue between Tom Nook and Dracula?
Yes, Nick, would you like to be Tom Nook?
Yeah, I can do.
Okay, so I'll start. No, I will not stay.
Excellent, excellent. We have just the place for you, interrupted Tom Nook. Temporary yet comfortable, affordable yet cosy. Yes, yes, this way, please.
I really don't. And then he's just dragged off. And before he knows it, Dracula is just sat in a tent.
But as most people
Yeah.
know, Tom Nook is a master of persuasion.
So good that some even believe that his abilities go beyond persuasion and more so into the territory of extortion. No
Yes.
fucking shit.
So yeah, Dracula gets dragged around. And he's just somehow... Actually, do you remember in Black Books, there's that scene with... when Bill Bailey goes into a bookshop by accident, he just leaves. He's like holding like 2 bags, and it's got a muffin. He has no idea how.
Yeah.
He's just confused. That's kind of what's happened to Dracula.
Yeah.
The Lord of Darkness himself has been dragged along.
I don't know. I
So-
actually think this is quite fitting for Dracula's character. Because he met his wife, because
Yeah.
she literally just let herself in.
Oh,
And
yeah,
was
that's
like, oh,
true.
you're fucking rude. Are you gonna help me, like, offer me a fucking coffee or something?
I'd
And he was
forgotten
like,
about
oh yeah,
that.
alright, hang on. You know what I mean?
So the trick to dealing with Dracula is just to sass him and drag him along to things.
Yeah.
Like, if you don't fight him, he's fine.
Yeah.
That's excellent. I just like the idea of this 7-foot tall, mega powerful being from hell, just sort of like standing there after the end of his first day on the island in Animal Crossing, thinking to himself, "How the fuck did that happen?"
And that's exactly what it is. He's specifically just sat in a tent on his own, just going, what? Like, I have a castle. Why do
Yeah,
I
I'm
need
sitting
a
on
tent?
a shitty cot with like a little gas lamp in a tent. What am I doing? And I've bought it.
So,
I owe this fucking Tanuki money for this tent I didn't want.
that I do have to be fair about this. I have one critique for Glitter Navigat Rose. They describe Tom Nook as a raccoon, and he is in fact a Tanuki.
Yeah.
So, points deducted from that. Otherwise, I'm really enjoying this
God's
fic.
sake.
So. So, chapter 2.
Yeah.
Dracula wakes up in his tiny tent, thinking to himself, "What's happened?"
Hang on, just
And he takes his-
just as an idea, you know how like the characters in Animal Crossing are like 4 foot, approximately.
Yeah.
That knowing that camp bed, yeah, takes up almost half the
Yeah,
tent.
so Dracula's just...
He can't possibly sleep in that tent. He's too long, so his feet are obviously sticking out the end of the tent if he's lying straight.
Also, that's the point. He sleeps in a coffin. Like, he probably shouldn't be in a tent.
No, he
Well,
shouldn't.
now he sleeps
His
in a
legs
tent.
are out in broad daylight.
Yeah, he rips open the tent with his claws, because he does have, like, claw-like nails.
Yeah.
And, yeah. So he mentions that he decides he doesn't want to harm any of the villagers.
Oh,
yeah,
that's
they
nice.
weren't-
Just one...
Apparently they're not human. So
Yeah, so they're not human. Dracula's vengeance is aimed at humans rather than animals.
he got the
Okay.
impression
Also-
that Hector wouldn't be too pleased if he began slaughtering precious animals.
Yeah. So he's doing it for Hector,
Oh,
which is precious and kind of fits with Dracula's personality.
that
to be
doesn't
honest.
mean he wants to be nice to them as he shouts, "Begone!"
So, yeah, as Dracula's been introduced to them there, it kind of stops. He has a little flashback to his wife and son sort of playing in the garden they used to have before he was so clouded by vengeance and hatred of humanity.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, so he's brooding. Yeah, nice.
He's brooding, classic Dracula. And then Tom Nook arrives, and he tells him about that they have to discuss the matter of payment.
Yeah.
With materials and labour, that comes to a total of 19,800 bells.
Fucking hell. 20 grand to put a fucking tent up.
Now, Dracula had been labelled as many things over his lifetime. A tyrant, a monster, a caring father.
Aw.
The list was endless, but he has never been cheap nor stingy. And he refused to leave this bill unpaid.
So, yeah, Dracula the Prince of Darkness has some morals.
Well, he's not going to be tight. So he reaches into his pocket and he pulls out some bars of gold and he just gives them to Tom Nook. And Tom Nook is like, "Ah, my apologies, I can only take bells."
Oh wow.
And Dracula is just, "This is just one of the many payments I can offer you. I have coins and currencies from across centuries of many lands. I have gold, jewels, priceless artifacts, even magical items. All of them available in my castle. If any of those take your fancy..."
Sorry, sir, we only take bells. Fuck's sake.
Dracula frowned.
I hate it. It's like, "Oh, I'll have you know this is legal tender."
Like, he could give Tom Nook anything of his wildest dreams. Like, Dracula's castle is full of treasures. Like, beyond his imagination.
Yeah, Tom Nook needs to think
He's like,
bigger,
"Nah,
doesn't
gotta
he?
be bells."
As we
Yeah,
know
really.
from the last fic, it has got to be bells.
God, it does. So yeah, turns out he only had one bell in the castle,
Oh.
and that bell vanished when the goose was around.
Yay!
Hey. Oh, and
Nice.
he thinks it's a literal bell, doesn't he?
Perhaps he could arrange for the villagers to make bells for him, paying them in gold. And Tom looks just like, not to worry, you can work in my shop.
Oh my god.
So Dracula just gets dragged along. Gets dragged to the shop.
Oh
He
my
can't
God.
fit inside the shop because Dracula's 7 foot tall. But he can crouch down and stick his head inside.
Oh no.
Tom Nook
Excellent.
gives him a
Please
uniform.
First change into this. Oh.
Yeah. So he gives him the uniform, it's far too small for him.
Oh.
So he has to take it to the Able sisters.
Yeah, the tailor's next door. 2 little hedgehogs.
Dracula crouched to get into into their shop. The hedgehogs, they they fit him an outfit.
Oh.
It goes over his cape, which apparently clashes quite horribly. But Tom Nook insists that he wears it, so
Oh, and he's got a little hat.
Dracula
as
becomes a
well.
delivery boy. Oh yeah, they give him a little sun hat.
Oh. Brilliant.
So yeah, his first job is to deliver some furniture. He goes to visit a cat. Sorry, on the way, he meets Bob, the purple cat, who has attached a can of paint to some balloons. Which, is this something from the game? Like,
No, this is.
with the paint and the balloons?
I am not sure. However, next time my roof needs painting, I know what I'm going to do.
So yeah, he puts the paint. He attaches the paint can to a balloon. Balloon goes up in the air. He then shoots the balloon with a slingshot, so the paint falls over the roof. Dracula mocks him and goes, "Does that work?" And he's like, "No, this is a terrible system." So Dracula, taking pity on the cat and being 7 foot tall, he just paints the roof for him.
Oh, yes.
And he gives him a butterfly. And apparently the Agricius butterfly? I don't know how you guys
Agrias.
pronounce that.
Yeah, Agrias.
Agrias butterfly. Apparently they're quite rare, but because the sun has stopped coming out, they are quite easy to find. Oh, now they're impossible to find because of the eternal
The
darkness.
castle
Hey.
was caused. Oh.
Yeah. And Dracula, it was I who brought the eternal darkness to this town. But the chicken's okay with that, and yeah, everyone seems quite happy with it because they can do like rare bug hunts
Oh
now.
god, yeah, look, they're like, oh, that was you, thank you. I've never been able to catch those rare bugs like tarantulas and scorpions. But with this eternal darkness, oh, I can find them all day long. Oh god, everyone's gonna get rich off these fucking scorpions and tarantulas.
Yeah.
Oh, Julian the Unicorn's in this. What a fucking star. Why is he in this as well?
Maybe Glitter Gappy Gax Rose, if I can pronounce that, is a fan of Julian.
Oh, is it by the same author? Oh,
Yes,
okay,
yes, it
alright,
is.
that makes more sense.
This is a sequel,
Oh
technically.
shit. Okay.
That's why we're reading them both today.
Alright, yeah, I'm with you, sorry, carry on.
Anyway, so by the end of the day, Dracula is sat by Isabel, just staring out at the ocean. They both have a cup of tea by the looks of it. And Dracula just says, "I'm not the mayor." And Isabel's just like, "I know." But you bring the villagers hope,
What?
and that's why they want you here.
Oh.
What fucking hope? What happened that they needed hope from Dracula?
Well, he helped paint he helped paint a roof. He's been kind of friendly to all of them. Like, I don't know. I guess it's just nice to have company.
After.
Yeah, in fact, Isabel elaborates.
Oh, right.
They want to have someone to show around the town, someone they can bring fishing or bug catching, someone to be their friend.
Oh, that's
And
sad.
with that, she gave Dracula a pat on the elbow because that's the highest place she could reach on Dracula.
Oh, fuck's sake.
And Dracula's just stunned by this. When was the last time that he, Vlad Dracula Tepesh, had been associated with the word hope? The word seemed so foreign to him.
This is lovely.
Yeah, I really like
Yeah,
this.
the
This is
villagers of
lovely in
Animal
a
Crossing.
sad way.
Yeah, that's it. The villagers of Animal Crossing have picked a 7 foot tall broody vampire to be their friend.
Yeah,
And
it's sweet.
so, yeah. Days pass, and Dracula's still living in the town. He's helping the villagers out with bug hunts and shaking trees, which I imagine is really easy for him because he's just he's huge. The goose eventually shows up in town
Oh yeah.
as well,
Hey!
Finally.
and plans to wreak havoc, but Dracula appeases it and calms him down and gets him a job at the post office.
What? What?
Turns out, because the goose is extremely fond of bells, he's very happy to work in the savings department, moving the bells from the counter to the vault.
Oh my god. Oh my fucking god.
That's excellent.
And so, this fic ends with a letter, which I'd like to just read in whole, because I'm enjoying just reading from
Yep.
this.
Okay.
My dear Adrian, I hope that you are well. I'm writing to assure you that my heart is at peace. I have found a town that fills me with hope and wonderment. I spend my days taking in the gentle breeze or strolling along the beach with my animal companions. as you've probably guessed, I have no intention of returning to Wallachia anytime soon. Take care, your father, Dracula.
So this is a fix-it fic for Castlevania. It's essentially what it is. He didn't have to die or any of that rubbish. He just had to take a fucking holiday to Animal Crossing.
Yeah, his wife died, and instead of swearing vengeance upon humanity and unleashing the armies of hell, he moved to Animal Crossing, chilled out, and he's okay now.
Oh my god. But really, the goose is the catalyst for him moving.
Yeah.
So the goose saved the day in this fic. It was like,
If anything, the goose is the true angel of this
yeah,
story.
he's the true counsellor of like that Dracula needed. You need to get away from this toxic environment. Go move house. Here we go. Off we go.
So this fic doesn't have any comments and barely any kudos, so I think I might honestly make one and leave some kudos for this, because I really enjoyed this.
What, you're gonna make an account and just be like, well done?
Maybe I
Oh
will.
my
I have clicked the kudos button because you can do that as a guest.
Oh,
So-
in that case, yeah, I will do that just now as
Click
well.
away
my
with
God.
impunity without worrying whether your employers are going to find your archive of our own account.
Oh my
Yes.
god.
So, ratings, I guess?
Yes, let's do ratings.
So, in terms of... What do I normally do first? In terms of canon, I think this fits quite well. I think everyone behaves like they would fit. And I'm saying this for both of
Yes.
them. Like, the goose is very goose-like.
He barely shows
All
up.
the Animal Crossing characters, as well, yeah, but he is a silent menace in both of them, so I think that fits.
Yep. Yeah, that works.
Dracula has always had a bit of a good side deep down, and I quite like the idea of him doing. Like, it's not totally on point for him, but it's up there. So I guess maybe I'm giving it a 3 or a 4. in total.
Yeah, I suppose if he has a wife and a son, he can't be all bad because at least somebody's capable of loving him, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And he does have human friends in the show as
Oh, well,
kind
there we
of.
go.
What else? So, romance, I don't think is really applicable here. It's not a particularly romantic thing, but it is kind of soft and cuddly. So
Yeah, it makes you feel
in
it
fact-
makes you feel good, especially the second one.
this makes me feel warm and fuzzy inside, and for that I'm going to give it a 5 for warm and fuzziness.
Yes, it managed to warm the furthest reaches of your cold, dead heart.
So, I'm just going to turn to our expert on being cold and dead inside.
What do you want?
Grace, did this warm your Did this warm you deep
Fuck no.
inside?
I mean,
Yeah, but nothing does.
yeah, I'm like
No,
the food in a microwave. It's the plate that gets hot, but not the fucking food. It's like, I mean, yeah, it's nice and everything subjectively, but nah. I mean, it's just a funny trope of like goth gets accepted by non-goth friends. Essentially, isn't
Ever the
it?
cynic.
I mean,
Well, it
I
warmed
kind
me,
of prefer this outcome to what canonically happened in Castlevania for Dracula. But like,
Yeah, that's fair.
but imagine if they tried to tie it back in to Dracula later, and like something happened on the island, like the goose died because I don't know, like that bitchy vampire
Gabriel
came back
Belmont has to
over
fight the
and
goose.
murdered the goose to try.
Sorry,
and...
Trevor Belmont versus Goose.
No, I was gonna say, who's that white-haired woman? The
White-haired
evil
woman?
woman with the white
Oh.
hair. She tried to get
Oh, I
Dracula
can't remember
involved
her
in the
name.
war because she's a bit of a manipulative woman, and she was, yeah, I reckon she'd have tried to kill the goose and pinned it on someone else, get Dracula re-interested in
She'd
the
have
war,
failed.
and then like he would come back and be a villain again. But
Sorry, I'm just looking it up.
I don't know why I'm
I know
trying
she's
to
part of
twist.
the Council of Sisters, and the only one whose name I remember is Lenore, for very self-explanatory reasons.
Because you're a lech.
Because she's quite a character. Carmilla is her name.
Camilla, yeah, Carmilla.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah, I reckon
Lenore.
Carmilla would try and pull Dracula back off the island. What am I talking about? It's like I'm making a fucking sequel to this myself. Look, alright, let's stop. Stop.
It's Grace.
Honestly, if you're doing that, I think it's fair to say you liked it.
No.
Grace is
No,
going to
I'm
is
trying-
going to go into her room and write fanfic of her own.
No, I clearly don't like it if I'm trying to fix the fic where he goes back to his own franchise. You know what I mean? If I'm making a
That's
fix-it
true, I
fic for a
suppose.
fic to get him back into his own franchise, that's a bad thing. If you think about it.
If you say so.
I know it's that.
Okay, one last factor to rate this on is, did I find it weird? I don't think I did. What about you guys?
Yeah,
It's
the
hard
weirdest
to-
bit was the crossover bit, which was kind of the point of the fic. So yeah,
Yeah. And once you suspend that crossover, it's perfectly normal,
Yeah.
I think.
yeah.
I'm
That's true.
finding it more and more difficult to find fan fiction weird, just the more I'm exposed to it. So it's very difficult to say.
And finally, did you guys like it?
Yes, I did.
Grace?
It's okay. Like,
I'll take it.
yeah, just take it. Fine, sure. I liked it.
And finally, I liked it.
Yeah,
So,
you sounded like you
Yeah.
did.
I was very fond of this. I feel like I got lucky with this fic. And, yeah, I guess we call it there. So,
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was
thanks for listening, guys.
that was nice. Yeah, thank you for joining us into this ride into wholesomeness, which makes a change.
Yeah, I like ending on a wholesome note. We should try and do that more
Yeah,
often.
yeah.
With our fix selection. So, yeah, that's it for our Animal Crossing series. Join us next time with a brand new topic. So, until then, goodbye. I guess.
Thanks for listening.
I should really work on ending this
Yeah,
better.
just say, oh, yeah, thanks for listening. See you next week.
Thanks.
Yeah.
See you next. Well, we're still bi-weekly.
Next
now.
time. Yeah,
Next
yeah.
session.
That's it. Next session.
So yeah, keep it as vague as possible. See you
We will-
around.
Bi-weekly
In
means
the future.
bi-weekly means whatever
Also-
whatever we want it to mean.
Yeah.
Also, they're not going to see us. It's a podcast.
Yeah, that's true. But
Hear us in 2 weeks.